Eastsider LA, where I pulled most of this information, and make a pitch for them. I have a background in local publishing, and Jesus Sanchez at the Eastsider and his staff and his team are doing a really great job, and we should all support what he's doing. Again, the small publisher, the local publisher, is really helping out the citizens here, and Jesus does that every single day. So if you can make a donation, I believe they have some donations now as far as memberships to the Eastsider. Please consider it and support local news. So we will first start off with some restaurant news. Let me see if I can do this. And the lowbrow side of me was excited, Darren. Hold on. Nothing wrong with lowbrow, but I was a fan of Highland Park's Coco's. When I was over there, it was always nice because you had easy parking, right? And you knew what you were getting. And they left. But here we are, a couple months later, Denny's took over. Looks like a kind of a confusing sign there. Maybe they're just transitioning.
No,
but
no surprise. It's the perfect layout and match for Denny's.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's not far from where you are too at times. So,
That's a block from my units that I own over
Yeah.
area. So I was curious what it was going to become. I would rather have Coco's than Denny's.
Yeah.
But there just are almost no opportunities for, I thought maybe it would become a Starbucks, but it's probably
I thought the whole thing was going to be gone. I was like, into that, man.
That was always an option.
Complete.
Yes, right.
It's a lot of land
to become housing. Yeah, the volume of parking that these these corporate restaurants seek is just hard to find on the east side, and I think a lot of Eastsiders are perfectly fine with that.
It says here, building once housed, yes, dearly departed Coco's is turning into, drumroll please, a Denny's. Yep, according to Google, the home of the Grand Slam will be opening at 6040 York Boulevard on April 17th. All right.
That's so fast.
But the Eastsider has not confirmed this with the company. The building once housed Bob's Big Boy and Caro's before Coco's. So Denny's seems fitting. Absolutely. Moons Over Miami was my favorite. All right. A little higher brow, but still a very common food. In Silver Lake, Pizzana is the new place on Sunset Boulevard, not far from Sunset Junction. Chef and pizza maker Danielle Uditi and partners Candace and Charles Nelson are known for their brand of Neapolitan pies. That includes Pizzana's signature Casillo e Pepe pizza, made with a slow dough crust that ferments for up to 48 hours. You can also expect vegan and gluten-free options. Uditi will also debut a special puttanesca pizza with anchovy, heirloom tomato, garlic, and other toppings that will be served only at the Silver Lake restaurant. So I think they actually got a big LA Times story on its opening, so we'll have to check that out. What else here? Oh man, there's so much. If you guys go to Yeasty Boys, the breakfast sandwich truck, Bagel Truck Yeasty Boys will collaborate with Taco Bell this Saturday, March 25th, offering breakfastified favorites from the food chain like everything bagel quesadillas and a breakfast crunch wrap. So if you like Taco Bell and Yeasty Boys, they'll come together in Silver Lake. I believe right in front of Intelligentsia is normally where they are. Or sometimes they go up to Los Feliz on Hillhurst. I forget that coffee place. So there it is. You've got some choices, and I'm hungry. But I got to tell you, man, I got high cholesterol. I got to watch myself with the cheese, and all that. So, all right. Well, next we'll move off to let's see. So this is still restaurant oriented, but a little bit more community driven for local business. Let me just narrow this down a bit. So Salt and Straw coming to Silver Lake. I love ice cream. Again, tiny violin, cholesterol, I'm not sure in the future. But what I really wanted to get to here is let's see here. Another sucker punch for local restaurants. In a report from the LA Times, a proposed ordinance would add red tape and expense to outdoor dining permits, which were made quick and simple during the pandemic. The paper talked to restaurant owners in East Hollywood and Los Feliz, including Tyler Wells of All Time Restaurant in Los Feliz, who said, "I can't imagine after 3 of the hardest years for restaurants worldwide to go for another sucker punch." But a city planning department official said the quick alfresco waivers had been granted through emergency orders, which have now been lifted. So I guess they were going to lift it and they were going to charge a certain amount of money to have outdoor dining there. So that's good the city pulled back. Is that what you understand, Darren? I don't know if I got that all.
I have not read that article, but I had read previous articles about the potential. I mean, look, some people have outdoor dining on the street very commonly, and I feel like there's more going in all the time. It looks kind of ramshackle. The city is, I will say, the city is quite diligent about anything overhead. They're very harsh about that element of permit. Process.
You mean physically overhead? Overhead?
Always very engaged in that because of a safety issue. And, you know, it's adjacent to cars. And my personal belief would be they need to have a little more... they need to make sure these things are built well, because they are, in some cases, pretty ramshackle and already deteriorating. And that's fine. They did what they needed to do. But I don't think it will stay that loose. You know, I think one of the other things I'll tie together with this, although it won't be too long of a conversation about it, but the push for many in the city, not all, but many in the city, to legalize street vendors. You know, to me, that's a kick in the teeth to restaurant owners as well as property owners. How do you compete? You know, if you're a restaurant with paying rent, employing staff, dealing with people who live in the local community, compared to a street vendor, which would hurt restaurants a lot if that really becomes an easier process. They exist, and I'm not of the belief that, you know, they should all be rounded up and put away. But it's hard. It's hard to compete with a brick and mortar if they allow that to go through.
Very much so. Yep. So we're going to move over now to real estate news. And the first thing I wanted to kick off is that if you're familiar with Bates Motel, which used to look like this, it's on Sunset Boulevard. It was, for quite a few years, I think since 2015, painted all white. And that was an art piece somebody did.
Including the trees.
Including the trees, as you can see. Right. But now it looks like this. So there is movement. The developer has finally started his project. It reads here, the abandoned whitewashed motel at the corner of Bates Avenue and Sunset Boulevard is finally being torn down, as documented by Twitter user Mark Lagola. But no start date has been set for construction on the large mixed-use complex that has long been in the works for that site, according to James Frost, principal with the Frost Chaddock Development Company. He said he is currently preparing construction documents for building the project. Plans to develop 4311 Sunset began at least as far as 2012. The same company has also been developing a sister project at 4100 Sunset. While popularly known as the Bates Motel, the official name was the Sunset Pacific Motel. The entire building, including signs and palm trees, were whitewashed in 2015 as part of an arts project. So there you go. I'll miss it. We'll see what comes up there.
It became iconic. I'm sure,
right?
You know, just Google it. I'm sure you can find a T-shirt with that on it right there.
Yeah. Very cool.
It'll be, it's like the foot and the
That's funny. Well, look, so more real estate news here. There was some other good stuff. Darren, I thought you would enjoy this one. A new show about flipping houses apparently got off on the wrong foot, speaking of feet. Realtor.com reported Tarek El Moussa and Heather Ray El Moussa, stars of The Flipping El Moussas, bought a 3-bedroom, 3-bath on Michael Terena for $2.15 million. The plan was to put some money into fixing it and eventually sell it for around $3.1 million at an estimated $400,000 profit. But that profit seems to have evaporated from the current list price, about $2.7 million. Here, let's see if we can take a look at it. So, yeah, kind of an endangered species right now, right? Flippers and investors. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is.
Got it. Yeah, this is 100% an issue with people coming into Northeast LA
and don't know,
who just don't know the like, it's a tough neighborhood, man. Like, there are real designers who want, like, they're very critical. I'll say that. And they just have very high expectations in this, like, corporate crank out of properties. It's not uncommon for them to come in here and not succeed. And they have somewhat in the past, and that's because we've had, 12 years of an up market. So you could just kind of fall over yourself, and the market will have caught up with you in the past. Now you got to know what you're doing. And this is why flippers are gone, because some of them actually know they're not really great at their job from a design perspective. They've just gotten away with it for so long. The good ones will make it. They'll do okay.
Yeah.
But
well, I have to say, I mean, obviously Michael Terena is a great street. It's one of the best streets in Silver Lake. Great views. But for me, just real quick, I'm seeing a clashing of styles here between, is it mid-century? Is it OC modern? What is this? And maybe that's what
photo says it all, man. I saw that in the
right?
MLS. I didn't know which house you were going to pull up, but now that I see it, the front photo says
right?
it all. I mean, sago palms with that front door, that set of front doors, just doesn't work, man. The
garage door,
the cheap,
it's like
the cheap garage door. It's not a highly attractive sight line from the curb. So you really have to do well with the garage door and the front door and the landscaping, which shouldn't be that hard. And they didn't. They didn't do well with that.
Well, that's the thing. You see some the nice ceiling there. I think there's definitely some mid-century in here, but they've kind of glossed over it and just went 2023 modern. And
you could just you can blow it with a few things. It's a cheap door, and it's a cheap garage door, ineffective front doors. It's obvious to me.
All right. Well, there you go. So, good luck, El Musas. Let's see what else here. I think that's it. Let's move on to. This is topical for a lot of people. I know it's topical for you, Darren. The school strike ended. So I believe. Yeah. So this is the last day, but they're still negotiating, basically.
Oh, okay. So I knew that. They had 3 days planned, but they haven't come to a settlement then.
No contract settlement was announced, though talks facilitated by Mayor Karen Bass are again taking place between Service Employees International Union and LA Unified. So, it wasn't any news. But I know for 400,000 students and their parents, it's some relief.
Sure, absolutely. And for some parents, it turns their world upside down when their kids don't have a place to go. I mean, for everyone, it's difficult, but it's really hard for some. So
and then moving on, the storms. So I guess here, a lot of uprooted trees. So LA storms leave toppled trees and troubles. So I didn't see this. Maybe you did. A buckled sidewalk and fallen tree on Coronado Terrace in Silver Lake. Look at that, man.
Yeah.
Good
Lord.
Lord.
And there's going to be more of it.
Wow.
The ground just became so saturated. And there'll be more of it over time. There's a certain amount that happened right now, but there'll be more that happen over the next 3 to 4 months, unfortunately.
I mean, look at this. Ivanhoe Elementary School, damaged classrooms. Look at that.
Yeah, I was at our property that's closing tomorrow, and we do this there's a tree an oak tree that fell down,
Oh,
sitting in the neighbor's yard, but fell across into their yard.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Wow, look at all that. Okay. What else? Almost done here, man. Two more. I'm just burning through it. Let's see here. We're going to go to tenant protection from the pandemic has been lifted.
From the county. Yeah, so
from
they're
the
not
county.
extending it.
Yeah.
They voted yesterday, and appropriately, I'll just say it. Often I say it's my opinion, but in all sincerity, appropriately, it was removed. We're so far beyond the pandemic, and I have a ton of empathy for tenant issues, but this was not an appropriate element anymore.
Right.
And what you're going to start hearing, as you've already heard a little bit of it, but it's going to become front and center, is, evictions rise, 200%, 500%, 1,000%. And that's going to be because there were zero. And evictions can only happen if people didn't pay their rent, for the most part at this point. So, if there's a thread of empathy, which I have, the emphasis should be put on the city then helping accommodate to pay back the landlords, and then that would halt the eviction. And a landlord, he's going to move forward to evict because he hasn't been paid, which is appropriate. So if the city wants to put some energy into something, they can put it there. And if you want to go out and really do good by tenants, that's where I think the effort should go.
Yeah. So this is not, so the city still remains under the tenant protection then?
No, that's lifted already as well. That lifted at the end of February.
So both.
And now the county is, or the end of January, now the county will be the end of March.
Right. So maybe for owner occupants looking at duplexes and whatnot, this might help them look into a different investment. Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, you could always vacate for owner occupancy. Well, you could.
Right.
All right, I'll take that back. Yes, it will. That will. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you this, the court system is going to be tremendously backed up, so don't expect something to happen fast. But yes, you will have the legal right to vacate to owner occupy.
Got it.
Based on that condition. That hasn't been altered from what I've seen.
Okay. All right. And then not real estate related, but just wishing the very best for a longtime Politico, Gloria Molina, former supervisor Gloria Molina, fought tirelessly in favor of the creation of Grand Park in downtown LA. And unfortunately, she has terminal cancer. So that was just announced through the LA Times. And she actually helped us, Darren, with Art Unite last year. She contributed some pieces. So wishing you the very best, Gloria. Very tough. Very tough. Yeah. All right. And now we're going to move off to some art as well. And again, I think the theme here is outsiders coming in and kind of wanting to take over. We're going to talk about a new tanning salon. I don't know if you heard about this one, Darren. I just picked this up. I haven't seen the results of their work. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull it in here. So, at the corner of Sunset and Silver Lake, across from the bakery, the Cuban place, was a very famous mural. And a new business just entered there called, they're kind of a chain, but, they are a chain. What are they called? Tanned and bronzed. Oh, sugared plus bronzed. So basically, Silver Lake takes its murals and music legends seriously. That's what's sugar plus bronzed, a hair removal, an airbrush tanning salon learned recently after a mural that included images of the late indie singer Elliott Smith was painted over at the chain's new store at Sunset Boulevard and Parkman Avenue Yeah, changes to parking there. The Santa Monica-based chain was heavily criticized on Nextdoor, and someone even set up a parody Instagram account over the issue to give them shit and not let them erase what they've done, said a response from the fake account holder. The company responded saying, we have absolutely heard the frustration and disappointment from the community, and noted that the previous tenant, Floyd's Barbershop, commissioned and owned the mural. The barbershop chain has also commissioned similar murals, but with different imagery at some of its stores. Sugar Plus Bronze has hired a female artist to paint a new mural that honors both Silver Lake and Elliott Smith. This isn't the first time an Elliott Smith mural has been a source of controversy. A bar faced some backlash after removing part of the figure 8 mural, considered the original Elliott Smith mural on Sunset Boulevard. So that's by, you know where that is, right? That's the electronics shop there between McDonald's and the coffee shop and the new place, which I love, by the way. Junkyard Dog, man. It's vegan, but it's all junk food. It's vegan junk food. It's great. So anyway, beware, newcomers. Silver Lake will protest. Do not mess with their icons like Elliott Smith and Silver Sun Pickups and Beck and Jackson Brown. It goes on and on. So we'll see what the new mural looks like. So there you go. That is the end of our expansive hyperlocal news. Guys, again, check it out, theeastsiderla.com.